Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osterberg501 and today I want to go over what I think is the best build for the 9mm Vector in patch 12.9 of Escape from Tarkov. Now before we get into the video, 99% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so make sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with all my Escape from Tarkov videos. And like with all of my builds, there will be a link in the description to the Tarkov Gunsmith website where you can go see every part you need for this build and see updated prices for all those parts on the flea market. Now, if you've played Tarkov in the past month, you'll know the 9mm Vector is essentially the strongest weapon in the game. It's even so strong that they've constantly increased the price of the 7N 9mm bullets, which are currently sitting at around 1700 rubles a piece, making them one of the most expensive rounds that can be used in a fully automatic weapon. And currently, unless you're super rich and just going into raids to PvP, the 7N bullets really aren't worth it at the price they're currently sitting at. With that being said, with this build and the 9mm Vector in general, you can use something like AP 6.3 and still absolutely shred anything. So first off, for the sight, the only things you have to determine when using the sight is what range you want to use it on, what sights you like to use, and how much the sight is going to affect the ergo of the weapon. But it's a 9mm Vector, so most likely you're going to be using a red dot or a hollow sight. I personally use the EOTech XP-S30. Now I use the XP30 because this is the one that just has one dot. The other EOTech one that's pretty much the same thing has two dots on it, which kind of annoy me. And then we're also going to be using front and rear sights. Now what's nice with the Vector is it comes with the Kriss Defense front and rear sights that give an additional ergo so you don't have to change those out, which will save you a little bit of money. And then for the stock, we're going to be using the Kriss Vector non-folding stock adapter. Then on that, we're going to be using the SI Advanced Receiver Extension Buffer Tube, the anodized red one. Now the anodized red one is the best for stats, but if you can get the normal Advanced Receiver Extension Buffer Tube at much cheaper than the red one, go ahead and get that. The red is just going to give you 5% accuracy and a +2 to muzzle velocity, and I think the red is currently sitting at like 70,000 rubles, and if you have the vendor you can get the normal one much cheaper, but I would personally still run a red one on this. The muzzle velocity increase does personally help quite a bit in my opinion. And then on top of that, I'm currently going to be using the Fab Defense GLR16 stock. Now there's essentially two options. You can use this stock, which is going to be slightly better on ergo, slightly worse on recoil, or you can go with any of the Mo stocks, just get whichever color is cheaper, and then on that we're going to have the rubber butt pad, and this is going to have slightly better recoil but slightly worse ergo. And personally, after using this build a little bit, I would personally be using the GLR stock most of the time now. I think the slightly higher ergo is a little bit better than reducing the recoil on the weapon that's already a laser beam. And then for the magazines, in my opinion, you really don't have an option. You could go with a big stick, which I think is like 33 rounds or something. In my opinion, with 950 RPM and just how the Vector is, you'll pretty much always want a 50 rounder. Especially since you have the option with a 50 rounder, I would always be using those if I'm going to be bringing out a Vector. Going with the lower 30 round magazines is just way too punishing, and having a 50 rounder gives you a lot more options when in a fight and possibly when fighting multiple opponents at the same time. Something else that is nice about the Vector is that it comes with all the rails you're going to need, because even though the weapon itself is pretty expensive right now, having every rail does save you a decent amount of money. So for the grip, we're going to be using the Fortis Shift Tactical Grip. Personally, I think this is the absolute best one for this build. I don't think you need any more recoil reduction, so going with something like the RK1 or the RK2 I don't think is really that useful, and getting the pretty big chunk of ergo increase I think is much more useful than going for lower recoil on a weapon that's already a laser beam. Then we're going to be going with the 5-inch barrel. This is going to give a little bit of an increase to ergo at a very slight increase to recoil. I think the recoil increase doesn't really do much of anything. I don't even think it increases the vertical recoil at all compared to the 6-inch one. I think it's just a horizontal recoil increase. And either way, I think the ergo increase is going to be much more useful. And then on top of that 5-inch barrel, we're going to be having the Osprey sound suppressor. This is the best sound suppressor you can get for this. And I do think even though suppressors still drop the ergo by a ton, they give a good recoil reduction, and just having a silence weapon, in my opinion, is a very big buff in combat. And this weapon is incredibly silent with the silencer. And then for tactical devices, it already comes with a rail, and I would always recommend using the D-Ball tactical flashlight. It gives you a IR flashlight and a normal flashlight, which is very helpful in some situations, but you can use whatever tactical device you want to use. So that is the entirety of the build for what I think is the best 9mm Vector build in patch 12.9. And like I said, there will be a link in the description to the Tarkov Gunsmith website so you can see all the parts you need for this build with their updated prices on the flea market. So subscribe if you want to see more Escape from Tarkov videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about this Vector build. And thanks for watching.
Вон он, сука! Да вот он! Понятно. Да вот! Ну, сука! Кому ты выдал? Штаны! Вон он, блядь, вон он, ебать! Вот! Ага, вышел, блин. Вот он! Чужие! Блять, в укрытие! Вижу уебище! Тут враг! Тут враг! 12! Чужая граната!